Oh my gods and goddesses, thank you so much for joining us back again at the Temple of Venus. I am your High Priestess, Gwendolyn, um, and thank you for being here. So, today I wanted us to talk about why you should stop being an empath. And I know that in the spiritual community, we kind of, at a certain point, we glorified being an empath and you feel everybody's emotions and it can look really and sound beautiful, right? Very artistic. And there's something about like being able to connect with everybody, but I'm actually growing to believe that it's a trauma response. And I feel that way because if you're really an empath and you can really pick up other people's emotions, I would actually ask if you had like an abusive childhood or you developed this skill set because you needed to survive. So now that you can pick up everybody's emotion, you're exhausted, right? You feel emotionally depleted. You feel resentful sometimes because not enough, a lot of people don't do the same thing for you. And I'm speaking as a former empath myself. Now that I am a lot more self-obsessed, and I own that, I worked on that because I realized that I would be giving a lot of myself in my friendships and relationships, and I wasn't getting back what I was putting out. So, in order for me to protect myself and my own vibrational frequency, I became self-obsessed. That doesn't mean that like I'm not caring. That just means that like I'm gonna take care of myself first. Um, so when you stop being an empath, you're actually protecting your own vibrational frequency. And I'm sorry to say this, but birds of a feather flock together. That works also in vibration, that works also in manifestation. So, allowing yourself to control your emotions with the people that you're around and focusing mainly on abundance and love will help you out more so. Let me tell you guys a story. So at my old job, I used to have these coworkers that for some reason didn't like me. And I didn't know why they didn't like me, but they didn't, people have their own issues, not my problem, but they didn't like me. And they would all get together, and I'm a full-time teacher. They would all get together and they would complain about the kids a lot. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I don't like these kids." And you see the teachers online that are constantly complaining about the students. And for one, I love my job. I love being a teacher. That's why I'm online right now teaching you guys. I created my own school, the Temple of Venus, because I truly feel like that is my purpose and my calling is to learn information and hopefully, teach it back to people in a way that they understand. And I would get a lot of praise. They would ask me to do professional developments and things like that. And so I think that like there was a degree of jealousy that they were experiencing. And I didn't join them in complaining about the students that I was teaching. I was actually very grateful for the job because I'd come from a toxic work environment. So I was actually I felt really happy there. And so what happened was they all got together and they would complain. And one girl, I told her, hey, she was a brand new teacher, it was her first year. And I knew that she was in that clique, but I didn't think she would go back and report what I would say to her. But I told her, hey, you got to be careful listening to people complain a lot about their job because what's going to happen is you're going to get burnt out soon. So if all you're doing is listening to other people complain, then you're not going to last in the classroom because that the weight of that, the energetic force of that will become heavy on you and you're going to want to leave or you're going to end up being let go. And she didn't listen to me. I actually think that that was probably one of the reasons why they stopped talking to me too. She went back and she told them, right? And so now they are like kind of like being passive to me and I'm not paying them any mind because I love what I do. So I'm in the space of abundance. Do you know that every year after that, each one of them was let go? Like over the 3 years, they were each let go. One didn't decided to become a different type of teacher and then left teaching completely. Got, I think she was let go of her position. Another one, they cut her position, she was let go, and she would complain about the classroom. And then she would say, oh, I want to go back into the classroom. Another one was let go for not having their license. And so I just always, and I always say this to, like, my coworkers. I'm like, you have to be careful who you're around, because birds of a feather will flock together. And that is, like I said, that is vibrational. So if you're around people that are complaining about, their job, they don't like their job, they don't want this, the universe is listening. The universe is listening, and the universe will take your job and give it to somebody else that will like it. Because why would you? The universe wants you to be happy. So if you're at a place where that you don't like, it will cause things to happen in your life that might shift you out of your job. Now, whether or not they're happy in their next position, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But observing that for me was really interesting, because I've always thought that, like, you should be grateful for what you have, because if you're not, you can lose it. If you approach what you have right now with gratitude, the universe can give you more. But if you're not grateful for it, the universe might take it away from you. And I also find that, like, you see that successful people are not very empathetic, because I think that they themselves go through so much in order to build their own success, that they've learned that you can't be too empathetic, because everybody has something going on, and carrying that might not be effective for where you want to be in the long run, right? And then, especially if if somebody that's trying to grow, as you manifest into this new person, into a different person, people might struggle seeing you manifesting and changing yourself, and they might feel a certain type of way. And so you don't really want to carry their emotions about your growth around. So you just have to kind of, like, leave them alone. Another demographic of people that might not be empathetic are actually bullies. But bullies were once people that were bullied. That's why they're bullies, right? Because they had to learn how to survive. And they might have felt like nobody cared about their feelings. So now they're over here with the best comebacks and everything, and they're not empathetic. Not that I'm telling you to be a bully, but if you don't watch your emotional welfare, if you don't stop trying to feel, stop trying to always take on what people are saying, like, bullies are actually controlled by their own traumas, right? So if you have a bully that was, bullied as a kid, and now they have these comebacks or whatever, the other bully, the person that is the bully, is vibrating on a higher frequency now if you are affected by that. So now you're on a lower frequency, they're on a higher frequency, so you got to find somebody else to bully so that you can be on a higher, and it's just like a cycle that nobody wants to get on. So honestly, stay away from people that are bullies, and if they are bullying you, really do not internalize it, because the universe has a way of, like, taking care of people, and I have seen it time and time and time and again. So just let them do their things, because they're really, I mean, if you're being bullied at work, make sure that you're documenting and you're sending that to HR, obviously. But be careful of, like, being around people that are bullies, being around people that are mean, being around people that don't like their life. Or, oh, this is another one, people that want to throw pity parties. Definitely stay away from people that want to throw pity parties, because you will internalize all the things and all the experiences that they're having. And then all of a sudden, now you're having similar experiences, and they're not respecting you. I also want to say that, like, one of the boundaries that I have, even with friends that I make, is I no longer, I used to, like, always be somebody that would, like, be like, oh, you want to go there? Like, I don't mind the commute. Like, I don't mind driving further and blah, 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 blah. And I would always make, like, the extra effort to go and meet my friends at a place where, like, maybe they couldn't make it, or I'm picking people up, dropping people off, all of that. And I have, like, a strict rule. If I don't want to go, I don't go. If they can't meet me halfway, we're not going anywhere. But I'm not going to overexert myself, because that is my new boundary. um so that is how I am working on protecting my own peace, because keep in mind, I used to be an empath too, and I realized that it's not doing anything for me. It doesn't make me feel like a better person. It actually kind of makes you feel resentful at a particular time, but then you have to like take that on. Like if you feel resentful, that is on you. That is your emotions that you're feeling. So now you have to figure out how you're going to navigate those emotions. Um and so stop taking on people's emotional well-being, no matter what it is. And so what people really need to learn how to do is they need to learn how to transform that negative energy by using alchemy and transmutation. You should be able to take your experiences, transform it into something that you love. This is why they tell you to like do art, do music, whatever emotional experience that you're having. You have to learn how to transmute that and turn that into a higher vibrational frequency for yourself. Just because if you let it eat at you so much, you're going to lose your mind. And that's not necessary. Not as goddesses. We don't need to walk around here with our minds lost. That's not what this is about. Um, so that's where I'm going to end for today. And I hope that you take care of yourself. You put yourself first. You are worthy. You are great. You are a limitless being. And let's never forget that. And please do not take on other people's emotions. Okay, my goddesses, thank you so much for watching in this video. And I will see you on the next one. And as always, it is done. Bye.